94% of employees say that they would stay at a company if they put money and taught them learning and development. Where do you sit on this fence? Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Sales Chatter, and today we're going to talk about the power of personal development in sales. Now, for all of you that might not believe in personal development, right? This isn't a hokey rose-colored glasses where every day is filled with amazing stuff and no matter what happens, it's okay and all this. What I'm talking about personal development is your personal and individual growth inside sales. And I've got a bunch of notes here because I'm going to be referencing some studies that have happened, some university studies, some LinkedIn studies to give you some background in sales. So let's get to it. Number one, we're going to go through 4 different parts here. So number one, we're going to talk about the psychology of sales success. Number 2, we're going to talk about continuous learning and adaptability. Number 3, we're going to talk about goal setting and achievement. And then we're going to finish it off with resilience and stickability. Okay. And we're going to reference all of this back to personal development, reading books, all that kind of stuff. Now, first of all, the psychology of selling. So I'm going to cite something here. A Harvard Study Business Review found that salespeople possess qualities like empathy, problem-solving skills, and optimism. This is cool to see because the top salespeople employ these strengths. Now, I'll be honest with you, empathy is one of probably my least best strengths. I don't have the empathy that I have other people. Like my wife has amazing empathy. I don't. It goes on to say that this study that mindset isn't just a part of the game, it's the game. And I'm sure you can all agree that mindset is the game in sales, right? I mean, what other career do you get told no a million times a day and still pick up the phone and keep going, right? So this psychology that we have inside of us, the psychology of success in our head for sales is a lot different than most other industries or even careers, right? You look at say firefighting, for example, there's huge risks in this, but you're not being told no every day by somebody who you want to be a customer, right? It's and I hate to put it like this, but it's like an inbound call, right? Where you're going out to help somebody. So there's differences between whether you're inbound or outbound for your career based on what you're doing, right? So, I mean, for me, the psychology of sales really comes down to point number 4. And I think this is where a lot of people get it wrong, is sales is about having goals, having strategy, having a desire, having that drive to get going. Now, the psychology part of it is obviously you got to have that drive up here. You got to understand, you got to kind of put on this sheet of armor that says when somebody says no, they're not saying no to you. They're saying no to your product or service that you're delivering, right? But that psychology part of us tells us, and you've probably been through this if you've been in sales for a couple of years, you get to a point where you hear no so many times that it impacts you, the individual, right? So how do we fix that? How do we fix that psychology part that affects us? Well, I believe it's continuous learning and adaptivity. When I started educating myself and really learning about different strategies, psychology, that's when the no's started to brush off me like it was nothing. That's when my ability to separate my personal from business started to happen. That's when I really started to see that, hey, I can actually sell, have a good time, and not get torn down. And that's when I developed my ideal client profile. That's when I developed things like my ICP. That's when I developed things like my QC ESP. That's when I started looking at it and I started qualifying customers to work with me as much as they're qualifying me to work with them. And what I found is that psychology piece that simple switch that I did, that psychology piece helped me pick up the phone more often and not get deflated when things didn't go wrong. And I'm even talking when deals that were supposed to be like done did not go, right? That's where that piece for me really, really started to impact. LinkedIn did a study, and it said workplace learning report said 94% of employees would stay at a company longer if they invested in their learning and self-development. See, in sales, I guess the best way to put it is in sales, I believe the day you stop learning is the day you stop earning. There's always another level. You know, I've said it so many times. You, the individual sales rep, the professional sales rep, whoever you are right now watching and listening to this, you have 10 rungs above where you are right now that you can reach. And it's true through that education. It's through different practices that you might not know about, or different things that other people have tried and worked and really helped them out. You know, I remember when I first learned about Hal Elrod's Morning Miracle and read his book, brought him on the show, had a conversation with him, and it was amazing how much morning routines changed my life. See, that's education. That's learning. That's the continuous learning and adaptability I want to talk about in phase 2. So, segment 3 or part 3, which really I probably should have put this in as part 1. It's just I wanted the psychology piece to be there to kind of lead up to this, is goal setting and attainment, right? So a study by Dominion University found that people who wrote down their goals are 42% more likely to achieve them. And that's just by writing them down. Okay. So the question is, are you writing your goals down every morning? You know, when I was going through major mental health issues during my cancer treatment, one thing the doctor said, right? I'm going to the doctor and I'm like, I can't get these nasty ideas out of my head that I'm going to die and I'm going to, you know, and then the cancer is going to come back. And he said, Dan, gratitude journal. You'd be amazed at how your life changes just with a gratitude journal. So I started writing a gratitude journal. And all of a sudden, before I knew it, my mental health is getting better. Do I have episodes and relapses? For sure. I think we all do. It's like anything. But just writing that down. So now every day I write down my goals. Not only my goals, but I write down my goals for the day, my goals for the year, my goals for 6 months. And I just keep up this right here. This one right here. Oh, it's probably just off camera. But I use that to write down my goals every day. I write down in my gratitude journal every morning. And you know what? It just changes that psychology, it changes the perspective. It changes that mental state that we're in. And it goes on to say here, so one of the pieces that I put here, I wanted to kind of do a phrase. The goals are like your GPS for your sales journey. So that's what I want you to think of goals as. Not as like, oh, my company's making me. It's my GPS. It's my directional guide for what my day, week, month, year is going to look like. And then finally, I want to talk about resilience and stickability. Now, see, in sales, I believe resilience and stickability isn't optional, it's mandatory. Because if we are going to be our best in this industry, we've got to be in it for the long run. And, you know, resilience and stickability, it's everything. It's everything. I mean, I think about it like this. I'm calling people that have no idea I'm alive and asking them to put their credibility, their image, their brand in their company in my hands. Now, if I didn't have resilience and stickability and follow up when I said I was going to follow up and make the calls when I said I was going to make the calls and show up for the meetings when I said I was going to show up for the meetings and do the little things that other people forget to do because they get tired of the rat race or they move on to other things, then that's going to give me the stickability to have that prospect know I'm responsible, I'm dedicated, I can help them, right? The one thing about sales, specifically in our industry right now, it's all about trust. And that individual logistics manager, traffic manager, load planner, whoever it is, trusts you because you've upheld your end of the deal while you were making sales calls, right? So that's the stickability piece. And not only that, it only starts when you get the customer. It doesn't end. That stickability, that continuous learning, that emotional intelligence, that goal succession, that drive should be even bigger once you get the customer, because now you want to help that customer achieve their goals. Now you're not only looking to achieve your goal, you're looking for somebody help somebody else achieve their goal. And then you add 10, 15, 20 of these to your sales, and now all of a sudden you got yourself a game, my friend. You got yourself a game. And this is the big piece of sales success. This is the big piece of personal development. So I'm making a suggestion here that you first start with a really good book. One of your favorite people, go to YouTube and just type in personal development and start watching shorts. Don't watch full videos, just watch shorts. And the individuals that you connect with, find a book or go to their YouTube channel, subscribe, and start listening to their stuff. And here's the thing. With every video, start every video with an intention. I am going to learn X, or I'm going to look to learn X in this video. And it's based on the title, based on the information below, like on the description. Is what am I going to learn this? Okay, I want to learn this one piece and learn it. And even if you have to watch a video 3 times, if you got to break it down, hell, even if you got to email the creator of the video and say, what did you mean by this? This is what I mean by that true stickability and really diving into personal development. I can't tell you how many times I've emailed authors, found them through LinkedIn, DM'd them, personal message, whatever. I've sent books to them with like stick-it notes in it saying, hey, listen, I don't understand these parts. Can you please give me a quick summary? I mean, all of it. I've interviewed hundreds, probably thousands of authors at this point. And I interview them because I love their book, but I don't really get all of it. And I want to learn more about it. And if I want to learn more about it, I know there's other people out there that want to learn more about it, right? So start with that. Don't dive in, don't start with a million different things that you can never fully complete in a day, or that will not be integrated into your daily routine. See, this is one thing, and we'll probably do a whole show on this, is how do we integrate new skills, new desires, new opportunities into our day? We have to integrate them slowly, and we have to integrate them where they're going to allow us the greatest way of success. For example, if you're jammed solid, don't think you can start an hour podcast every day, right? You just can't. So, one of my mentors, Russell Brunson, he says, I wanted to start a podcast, but I couldn't figure out how to fit in my day where I would be consistent. He says, you know what? I started doing it. I had a 20-minute drive on the way to work. Every morning I would turn on my iPhone, I'd put the audio thing on, and I'd talk for 20 minutes on my way to work. And he did that every day, and it became the marketing podcast. And all he was doing was sharing information about how he's building his company, right? That's all he did. And every day he was able to put out content. Every day he was able to do something. So something like that, if you drive to work and your idea is, I want to read this book, but you know what, Dan, I just don't have time. Get the audiobook and make a commitment to yourself that every day for the next month, to and from work, you're going to listen to this one book. And you're going to be driving, you're going to glean certain ideas and strategies from it. Like every day I have 2 hours of education. And a podcast from a couple of days ago, I talked about big 5 moves and how that's important in our lives and in our business and success. Well, every day, part of my big 5 moves is education. So I do 2 hours worth of education. Now, if I don't get it done during the day, I stay up till 11, 12 at night and do it then. But no matter what, I'm educating myself on new strategies, new ideas, evolution of AI, evolution of tech and logistics and all this. And I just educate myself on these things constantly, which then gives me an edge on a lot of the competition. So I hope that makes sense to you, my friends. Remember, go out there every day, make every call educational, and crush your sales. We'll see you on tomorrow's episode.